Top Python interview questions and answers for junior Python developer. What is PEP8 and why is it important? PEP8 is the Python enhancement proposal that provides guidelines and best practices for writing clean, readable Python code. It's important because it ensures consistency across Python projects, making the code easier to read and maintain. How does Python handle memory management? Python uses an automatic memory management system, including a private heap containing all Python objects and data structures. The Python Memory Manager handles memory allocation and deallocation. Python also has a built-in garbage collector that recycles unused memory, reducing memory leaks. What are Python's built-in data types? Python's built-in data types include numeric types, int, float, complex, sequence types, list, tuple, range, text type, star, mapping type, dict, set type, set, frozen set, boolean type, bool, binary types, bytes, byte array, memory view. Alright, so what is the difference between a list and a tuple in Python? Well, the main difference is that lists are mutable, meaning their elements can be changed, added, or removed after creation. On the other hand, tuples are immutable and cannot be modified once they are created. Tuples are typically used for fixed collections of items. Now, let's explain the concept of Python functions. A function in Python is a block of reusable code that performs a specific task. Functions are defined using the keyword followed by the function name, parentheses, and a colon. Functions can take arguments and return a value using the keyword. For example, def greet name return hello name. Moving on, what are and in Python? And allow you to pass a variable number of arguments to a function is used to pass a variable number of non-keyword arguments, while is used to pass a variable number of keyword arguments. Here's an example. Def func args kwargs, print args, print kwargs. How does Python handle exceptions? Well, Python handles exceptions using the and blocks. You place the code that might raise an exception inside the block and the error handling code inside the block. The block runs if no exceptions are raised, and the block runs whether or not an exception occurred. Here's an example. Try num equals sign in input, enter a number, except value error print, that's not a number, else print the number is num, finally print execution complete. What is the difference between and in a list? Well, adds its argument as a single element to the end of a list, while iterates over its argument, adding each element to the list, thus extending the list. For example, list equals sign 1, 2, 3 last append 4, 5. What is a dictionary in Python, and how is it different from a list? A dictionary is an unordered collection of key-value pairs. It is different from a list in that dictionaries are indexed by keys, while lists are indexed by numerical indices. Dictionaries are super useful for looking up values by a key, making them faster for this purpose. Alright, so question 11. How do you create a virtual environment in Python? Well, you can create a virtual environment using the module. This creates an isolated environment for your Python projects, ensuring that dependencies from different projects do not interfere with each other. For instance, you can create one by running Python invert myenv. To activate the environment, on Windows you would use myenv scripts activate, and on macOS or Linux you would use source myenv/bin/activate. Moving on to question 12. What is list comprehension in Python? List comprehension is a concise way to create lists. It allows you to generate a new list by applying an expression to each item in an existing list or iterable. For example, squares equals sign x2 for x in range 10, here is now. And finally, question 13. Explain the difference between and in Python. The operator checks for value equality, meaning whether the values of two variables are equal, while the operator checks for reference equality, meaning whether two variables point to the same object in memory. For example, a equals sign 1, 2, 3, b equals sign 1, 2, 3 print, equals sign b, hash true, because they have the same values. print A is B hash false because they're different objects in memory. And that's the difference between and in Python. How can you reverse a list in Python? You can reverse a list using the method or the slicing technique. For example, lst = 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lst reverse. What is the statement in Python? The statement simplifies exception handling by encapsulating the standard setup and teardown logic for certain operations. It's commonly used with file operations to ensure files are properly closed after processing, even if an exception is raised, for example, with open file txt r as file content equals sign file read. What is a lambda function? A lambda function is an anonymous, small, inline function defined using the keyword. They are typically used for short throwaway functions that are not meant to be reused elsewhere. For example, add = lambda x, y media, screen showing lambda function code with addition, programmer writing addition lambda function x plus y print add 2, 3 hash outputs 5. What is the purpose of in Python classes is a reference to the current instance of the class and is used to access variables and methods associated with that instance. It's the first parameter of methods in a class and allows you to differentiate between instance variables and local variables. For example, class myClass def, self value equals sign value def display self, print self value. What is the difference between and in Python? Is the method that actually creates a new instance of a class while initializes the newly created instance. Is rarely overridden unless you need to control object creation. Explain Python's GIL or Global Interpreter Lock. The Global Interpreter Lock or GIL is a mutex that protects access to Python objects, ensuring that only one thread can execute Python bytecode at a time in a single process. This can be a limitation in CPU-bound multi-threaded programs, but it simplifies memory management. How do you implement inheritance in Python? Inheritance allows a class to inherit attributes and methods from another class. You can implement inheritance by passing the parent class to the child class as an argument. What is Python? What are its key features? Python is a high-level interpreted programming language known for its simplicity and readability. Key features include easy to read and write. Python's syntax is clear and straightforward. Interpreted language Python code is executed line by line, making debugging easier. Dynamic typing, no need to declare variable types explicitly, extensive standard library. Python comes with a wide range of libraries and frameworks that reduce development time. Cross-platform Python runs on multiple platforms like Windows, macOS, and Linux. If you're enjoying learning Python and want to dive deeper, be sure to check out my next video. It will help you become a Python developer faster. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Keep coding, and I'll see you in the next video.